Okay. Hello, everybody. We are back again for week 2 of the Galactic Squadcast. It is Wednesday, May 10th, 2017. And today, well, as you already know, I am your host, the Renegade Cosplayer. And today I am once again joined by my squad, Die by the Sword, off to my right.
Da-da-da!
And then Dead Meathead is right below me.
Oh boy.
Deal with it.
Oh boy.
And of course, Thessian Shadow is right below Die by the Sword there.
I'm in a bit of a compromising position. I'm sorry, Rich.
Well then.
Well then, that's one for the history books.
This podcast was more fun than you could ever imagine.
This podcast is brought to you by Blastos, the cereal of champions.
Or Vetra.
No.
Are you implying that
Vetra is our sponsor. I'll probably have to edit her in somehow, like, yeah, here's our sponsor. Alright, so today we have a couple of topics to discuss. We're going to start off with some of the more simpler ones, such as news for the week regarding Mass Effect, and then we'll get on to some debate topics. So let's start off with the new patch that came out today, patch 1.06 for Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm gonna quickly skim these over a bit here, and we will just react to them as I read them. Let's see. Let's scroll up to the top here. Okay. Alright, so first off is the powers. BioWare has noticed that the damage of powers have been too low, which caused them to be underpowered in the late stages, so they have increased the base damage of powers for your characters. And they've also improved some of the bonuses granted by additional skill points. And then also combo detonations on gold and silver difficulties have received a buff because they noticed that that detonations have inflicted less damage than intended. So that has been fixed.
I think I read somewhere in the notes that bronze also received a tiny bit of buff.
I think it did. I'm not too sure. I think it did. I didn't get I didn't get much time to read the patch notes, so this is like my first thorough look at it.
Well, hey, maybe your trip mines will do a little more damage now.
Yeah.
Silver, they were nothing.
Yeah. So just to quickly go over the weapons section here of the patch notes. Mass Effect multiplayer is more fun when it's fast-paced, but low weapon damage limited that pace on gold and silver difficulties. There was a noticeable imbalance between weapon classes, particularly shotguns and assault rifles. So they boosted the base damage for several underperforming assault rifles, pistols, and shotguns to make them more effective. BioWare also wanted to have shotguns be better skirmish weapons, so they boosted their damage and accuracy outside of cover. But they've also reduced the extra accuracy bonus for those weapons when you're firing from cover. So, and then finally to cover the weapons, they've reduced the damage of the Vanquisher sniper rifle to make it more comparable to other weapons. The overwhelming damage far outclassed other weapons and made this particular sniper rifle must-have. And we've evened the playing field so players will feel more comfortable bringing something besides the Vanquisher to a gold level game. Now, Thessian, I believe you were a fan of the Vanquisher, or was that the Ishiray?
It was both, and that is a colossal disappointment that they gimped the Vanquisher. that was a weapon you could carry and it wouldn't totally destroy your power recharge. And now they've made it even less effective.
Yeah.
Well done, them.
Alright, so going on to enemy factions really quick. They have changed how difficult some enemy factions are to fight. For us, it would probably be Ket, because those fiends and those ascendants are a bitch, so... but anyway, due to the individual survivability, the Ket were the most difficult to combat this. They've reduced their health and defenses, and they've also lessened the chance the fiend will sync attack on silver and gold difficulties.
They also eliminated the teleport bug. Thank God.
Yep.
Well done. About time for that, yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing more fun than a teleporting fiend.
Yeah. It
My
actually.
only
It also
issue with
says
the fiend-
here.
Okay.
It also says here they're investigating the wait and see issues that cause the fiend to appear like it teleports when it jumps. So yeah, that's been fixed. Sorry, Dad, you were gonna say something real quick?
Say, my only issue with the fiend was that he could reach through a floor to insta kill you on the first floor, and then you appear right back on the second floor where you were at, and you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Or reaching around corners or any other various bullshit. He was definitely lag teleporting around all the
Or
time.
reach through a wall, anything like that.
Yeah.
Any kind of solid object.
All right. But the other thing here is that they've also wanted to make the outlaws more challenging, so they have improved the ability of sharpshooters and hydras to push players into cover. And they've also made the berserker easier to fight from cover, and the hydra is now more stronger and dangerous. So it looks like outlaws might be taking over the Ket here.
So what's the point of cover when you're gonna have to fight all the dogs that knock you out of cover?
Yeah, right?
So there's really no point in cover, because they're forcing you into cover, but they got the dogs, there are like 20 of them at a time, knocking you out of cover.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of
There's no
units
point
that can
in
knock you out of cover. If it's not the dogs, it's the frickin' what do you call those stupid two-legged things with the shields on the remnant?
It's the
The breachers.
Well, breachers and the nullifiers as well.
Yeah.
Nullifiers will blast you out of cover.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. The good news here is that the remnant have been left untouched, so no changes have been added to them. So
Oh joy.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So to sum up this section, Ket have been reduced in terms of difficulty, but outlaws are definitely getting boosted. So we'll be sure to look out for that.
We'll have to test that.
It looks like the Krogan on Outlaw got a nerf on their armor.
They did. I can say that easily from playing today.
Good.
They got a little bit of a nerf.
They were the most annoying.
Which is good. Now they boosted all the other ones. They're more of an equal threat.
Yeah.
Outlaws were the most popular enemy to play at the beginning just because they were easier than Ket and easier than Remnant. So
Right.
it's kind of decent to equal them out.
All right. So there are a couple of bugs that have been fixed as well. They fixed a bug that made silver and gold difficulties use normal stats for shield gate and health gate. And they also fixed a bug that made silver and gold difficulties use normal stats for damage reduction due to armor. So enemy armor now reduces 15 damage per hit on silver and 20 damage per hit on gold.
Pew pew pew.
Where's my spitball shooter?
Yeah.
Unless it's a cycle, it's
Well, then if you're not using a gun that does that, you're using a character like the engineer that says it.
Go us.
Go us.
Like, totally.
Alright, so
I just have to say, especially after playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer over the last 2 nights, that Andromeda has some of the most awful, and I mean cringeworthy dialogue for the multiplayer character.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of gold ones in there. I mean, the Krogan mercenaries, freaking pure excellence. These are broken, send more. That's awesome. Make
Keep
all
your
of them
gut-
that awesome.
And keep your guts in.
Keep your guts in, exactly.
Well, the new Tyrian character, I'm not going to elaborate further on it for those who have not unlocked it, but his dialogue's not that much greater. It's actually pretty bad.
What a surprise.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to powers, we're gonna cover some damage upgrades, some increases, decreases, buffs, debuffs, all that good stuff. So for all damage powers, raw damage upgrades increased by a cumulative 25 to 35%. All offensive passive lines, power damage has been increased by a cumulative 20%. For power combos, they increase the base combo damage by 60% in bronze, 140% in silver, 200% in gold. They also increase the value of combo damage upgrades in all passives from 30 to 50%. As for combat powers, base duration has been increased from 12 to 13 seconds. They decrease the rank 4 duration bonus from 40% to 35%, although the end duration is still greater than before. Increased rank 5 buff from 20 to 30% power damage bonus. And that was for barricade, by the way. For flat cannon, they increased the base primary damage from 180 to 250, and they've increased the base power cell count from 2 to 4. So anyone that's using flat cannon, they'll be able to do more damage with an increase in how many power cells you can carry. So good news for anyone using flat cannon.
Not me.
I use flat cannon.
I know.
I've used it on occasion.
Alright, so moving on to tech powers. For Assault Turret, increase the rank 5 flamethrower damage per second from 45 to 150. Huge
Thank God.
increase.
Thank
Yeah, I
God.
think
I
the tech,
use that.
And then burn damage over time has been increased from 22 to 35 damage per second.
Yay.
Let's see. Rank 2 health upgrade has been increased to 50%, and rank 4 health upgrade has been increased to 75%. Powers cooldown now triggers when the turret spawns instead of when it's destroyed. Base bullet damage has been increased to 36 in multiplayer and 23 for single player. And these last two are multiplayer only, but the cooldown is now 30 seconds, but can reduce to 10 seconds with the rank 4 cooldown upgrade. And they fixed the bug causing the rank 6 cryo ammo to inflict no damage. So, lots of upgrades for Assault Turret. As for Incinerate, the base damage has been increased from 120 to 350. Awesome. Overload, base uncharged damage has been increased from 150 to 200, and charged damage has been increased from 200 to 300. So yeah, lots of damage there for anyone who uses Overload a lot.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big game changers across the board on powers.
Yep. Yeah. Especially tech powers here, because like we're not even done yet. For anyone who uses flamethrower, that would be especially the Krogan mercenary. Flamethrower base damage has been increased from 220 to 240 for multiplayer, and from 220 to 225 for single player. Cryo beam. Base damage has been increased from 135 to 150. That's multiplayer only. Energy drain has been had the base damage increased from 160 to 175. That's multiplayer only again. Shield boost. The increased base radius has been increased from 6 meters to 8 meters. And for multiplayer, increased support score generated by successfully giving another player shields from 10 to 20. For anyone who uses Invasion, improved rank 4 infection radius and rank 5 spread radius. They didn't say by how much, so you're just really going to have to find that on your own.
It has to be better than what it was, because it was like 5 meters in an open world game for the expanded version. It's like, all right, so like slightly taller than a guy laying down between the two targets. That's absolutely useless range.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now here's a ton of upgrades for the Remnant VI power. So
yeah, that is beastly.
Yeah, so the base damage has been increased from 500 to 800. The rank 2 health upgrade has been increased from 15 to 65%. The rank 4 health regeneration rate and delay has been improved. The rank 5 close combat health upgrade has been increased from 120 to 200%. The rank 6 missile damage has been increased from 90 to 450. They decreased the rank missile cooldown though from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Those first ones are for both single player and multiplayer, but these last 3 are for multiplayer only. The base beam damage has been increased from 70 to 100 damage per second. They fixed an issue where the VI would occasionally get stuck, and the VI will now teleport to the player if its path is too complex. So yeah.
My personal favorite with the VI is when you use it in the very beginning on Habitat 7 after doing like a new game plus, and it follows you onto the Hyperion. To where when you're walking around going to the Nexus, the VI is right behind you.
Yeah.
It's still there.
All right. Yeah, so viewers and to some of my co-hosts, if anyone has been using the VI, you're really going to enjoy it now.
Solarian Architect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Solarian Architect. All right, now on to biotic powers. Now this is what I'm curious about right here. Starting off with Pull, the rank 5 crushing grip damage over time has been increased from 35 to 60 DPS, which is good.
Bestian.
And Throw's base damage has been increased from 225 to 240, not bad. Shockwave, the base damage has been increased from 225 to 245 for multiplayer, and from 225 to 260 for single player. Singularity, they decreased the base cooldown from 24 to 20 seconds. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they increased the rank 5 recharge rate from 25 to 40%. As for Backlash, they increased the base health, the base Aegis health from 350 to 400. They increased the base reflection damage from 180 to 200%, and they increased the rank 4 and 5 bonuses. Now as for Charge, I love Charge, it's my favorite power. They increased the base damage from 250 to 275. Yes! I love Charge!
It's not an instant win button, Biscuit.
Yeah!
But it's so fun.
Alright, for Nova, the increased base damage has been increased from 400 to 420 for multiplayer, and from 400 to 450 on a single player.
Yay, because combining that with Charge is so much fun.
It really is. I love doing it.
Especially for those people who spammed it in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, not naming any names by any.
Oh, alright.
Trying to say something funny.
Oh,
I'm guilty of that too, actually.
Alright, Annihilation, the base cooldown penalty, that has been increased from 60 to 75%, and the rank 4 radius bonus has been decreased from 50 to 35%. So, yeah, Annihilation's getting a bit of a debuff there. That makes me sad.
well, it was a little bit OP to be.
It was.
So,
Detonate,
perfect
detonate,
sense.
detonate.
Yes.
Let's see. Lance has been slightly improved. The aim assist has been improved at longer ranges. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, hopefully Lance will be a little more useful.
It had aim assist?
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Oh.
It didn't
Not
seem
for
like it
me.
did. No, it did not seem like it did at all.
Alright, let's see. Let's move on to the character stats. There's only been 2 that have been improved. That's the Asari Adept and the Krogan Vanguard. But sadly, their shields have been decreased. And that makes me very sad again.
Like, mainly because Biscuit's good at getting smacked around.
Oh, shut up.
Right. So I'm just going to put this out there for those Asari Adept users, including myself. It didn't have much shields to begin with. So why are they gimping its shields even further?
I
Just so
know.
you die a lot.
Because you weren't squishy enough.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, I'm on top of you.
Oh. Yeah, you would come back with that, wouldn't you? You would come back with that.
Yeah, you're
Hey,
half of
you
her.
started it.
So I'm not only a home wrecker, I'm a podcast wrecker too. Okay.
Oh my god.
Evil person. Half of you is so evil.
I know, the half of you is so endearing.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, half is so evil and half is, well, the same half is uncaring. Okay, righto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Thessian and I both do have Asari Adepts that I do enjoy playing. Those shields have been decreased, and for Richard and I, we both have Krogan Vanguards that we really love playing as. I play as the Krogan Vanguard the most, but yeah, those shields are being gimped, so...
Hammer looked at his missing shields and just, swept it off his shoulder and kept trucking because real Krogans live off rage.
Rage!
So the pair of you did what Krogan usually do. Look at it, get angry, and start killing things even more frequently. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what, it's what must be done. Shh, let it happen.
That is such a nod to Katie Townsend. Moving on.
Yeah, let it happen.
I know it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to weapons.
Scottish Krogan is the scariest thing I can think of, seriously.
Oh,
Alright, so let's move on to weapons really quick. I'm not gonna go through like all of the stats, but so I'll just quickly skim through them. The Avenger's damage has been increased. The Maddox damage and magazine size have been increased. The Zulkin's damage has been increased. The Valkyrie's damage, magazine size, and spare ammo have all been increased.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that because I've never used the weapon, but it's the Soned.
oh yeah, the Soned.
Yeah, so the damage, rate of fire, accuracy, and that have all been increased.
Unless you're aiming down the sights on the Soned, then they
Yes.
nerfed it just a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's been slightly decreased a little bit. And the accuracy penalty for firing was also reduced for the Sonids. So, the PAW, the damage has been increased. The halberd had an increase in damage.
Yay, because the halberd was really, really crappy. Just
Yeah, yeah. The damage has been increased from 150 to 180.
Right, so still not using that gun. Okay.
Yeah.
Dead
Um,
Child has been increased from like 100 to 145.
yeah. As for pistols, the Carnifex got a damage increase. Yes!
Well, it's about time.
I know, it got increased from 255 to 321. I'm so happy. Alright, the Hornet had a damage increase. The Sidewinder had a damage increase.
Oh, that's good.
The Hurricane got a damage increase.
Excellent.
Sorry, every bad guy in the game. You're gonna get hurt.
You're gonna get a hurting. Alright,
That gun's already stupid.
the Eagle had a damage and an accuracy increase. The Roserad had a damage increase and a rate of fire increase. They also improved the rate of fire charge time, and they improved the accuracy.
Yeah, that thing needed a damage increase. It was shite.
Alright, these last two weapons I don't use, but the Ushior had a damage and a magazine size and total ammo had an increase, and they reduced the weight.
The gun that killed us did.
That gun is so bad.
Yeah, it is.
and as for the charger, the accuracy was slightly reduced, which I don't care about because I don't use it. So
Crap.
So
That
they
was the
reduced
first
it,
useful
but
gun I
I was
unlocked.
good at it anyway.
That's the first time that gun's actually been useful.
So did they upgrade any good guns?
well, I'm moving on to shotguns right now.
Okay. That little bit I had to leave for a second to tell my son to stop screaming.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I could hear him over your mic.
So what you're
I
saying,
know.
you nerfed-
That's why I left for a second.
You nerfed your son's decibels from like 100 to 90.
Yeah.
No, now he's mad at me.
Alright, shotguns. The Katana, the damage per pellet has been increased.
Oh God.
The Piranha had the damage per pellet increased.
Yay.
Yay.
The Disciple had a damage increase. The Ruzad had a damage increase. The Crusader had a damage increase.
I don't have that.
Oh boy, some people would really love that.
And not only that, but the Crusader also had bullet trails added to the slug.
Oh joy.
So you were shooting and correct the view without aiming down the sights.
Lovely.
Alright, now this is what I love. The Hesh had a damage increase. Not by much, but a little bit.
That thing fires so fast.
Yeah.
All my shotgun classes will be happy.
I know, I'm really happy with that. The Scatter Shot had a damage per pellet increase.
Yay!
For any fans of the Dawn, the damage has been increased. The magazine
Yay.
size has been increased.
Yay.
Total spare ammo has been increased, and also deals extra weak point damage. So,
Yay.
if you love
I
the
want
Dawn,
to be a fan of the Dawn, but the RNG machine has decided that I shall never meet it.
yeah, so for anyone who's fans of the Dawn shotgun and Mass Effect Andromeda, you're gonna love that. Alright, and then as for the Venom, the damage has been increased to 352 to 422.
Rather colossally, which is good because that thing's got a long reload and it's kind of inaccurate to shoot, but hell, you'll blow up everything around the target.
Yep.
Even if you don't hit the target.
Also, for the Venom, the initial round will now explode on contact with the target, and the fragments will travel faster and longer before they explode.
Yay!
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yep, pretty much. Alright, on to sniper rifles.
Decrease the damn weight.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
I know. So as we covered earlier, the Vanquisher had a bit of a debuff there, so the Shadow had a damage increase and And apparently, the shadow has increased damage as it gets closer to overheating, and it will overheat faster.
I've
Hmm.
actually never used that gun.
It's a beam weapon.
Yeah. Alright, as for the Valiant, had a damage increase, as well as an increase for total spare ammo.
Good old days.
And the
Ow.
Naladin had a damage increase. So it actually had a rather big one too, from 650 to 650 to oh my god, I can't speak.
What?
Yeah, what?
The Naladin had an
A deep dab. Take your time, Mishmouth.
Shut up. The Naladin had a damage increase, so it was before it was at 496 to 574. Now it's at 650 to 752.
Which is really, really nice because that's a gun that does more damage as you charge it up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just fire it without charging it, it just felt like it had no punch at all.
Yeah. Now we're on to enemies. We kind of went over the cat a little bit. Basically, a lot of their health and shields have been decreased, as well as the Fiend. He had his chances decreased to do a sync attack on you in silver and gold difficulties in multiplayer, as well as hardcore and insanity difficulties in single player. Now this is a nice one right here. The Cobra RPG can now damage the Ascendant after its orb is destroyed. And on normal or bronze difficulty, the Cobra RPG can now kill the Ascendant in one shot. Yes!
Yay.
As for Outlaws, there's been a lot of armor and weapon damage increases for the Anarchist, the Saboteur, the Agent, the Pariah, also the Sharpshooter as well. Yeah, Krogan Berserker had its armor reduced, so did the Hydra. But the Hydra now has normal shot damage increased by 67%, and the shot projectile speed is doubled. So the Hydra might be a little more deadly.
Just a hair.
Just,
And a little hard to break.
yeah. Alright, the rest of these are just kind of things that have been added to the store, such as experience boosters. Adaptive War Amp had a damage bonus, as well as the engineering kit and enhanced munitions. So yeah, that's basically all the patch notes for patch 1.06 for Andromeda.
Ta-da!
Anyone have some additional details on that before we move on?
Well, obviously we got the new character, the new casual outfits for the writers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the new gun, the cutscene only gun has finally made it into the mix as a real thing.
Yeah.
So I haven't played anything on the patch yet, so I'm excited to dig in, but I've seen pictures of the new casual outfits, and it's a Blasto t-shirt. I'm excited.
Yes! Blasto t-shirt!
Well, at least there's two of you that are excited and two of us that are like,
No. Yeah.
I know, because a lot of your weapons have been debuffed or...
No, we're talking about the outfit.
oh yeah, just the
Oh,
outfit.
the outfit, okay.
Yeah, they're not big on Hanar's being on sweaters.
Yeah,
Well, if it were a sweater, it wouldn't bother me, but it's not a sweater.
Yeah.
Hannah should be able to wear sweaters. Yes, I do agree with Grunt on that. But the t-shirt, no. As for more things on the patch notes, I think they did mention that some of the equipment for your strike teams is supposed to be cheaper in the store now. I have not seen a change in the app just yet, so maybe that hasn't come through. But
There was an app update today, and I was expecting that to change, and I didn't get a chance to check it yet. But I know earlier I did check, and they were not cheaper, and they were not more effective. So
yeah, so hopefully that'll come through. If it has not already on the game, maybe next 24 hours. Who knows how long that'll take effect server side, but
Right.
yeah.
Also, a side note, they did say before they even put the patch out that there were going to be more romance options for Scott. That's not the case.
Yeah, that
A lot of
is
people
not
were
true.
asking. It didn't
Um,
happen.
it's completely. So I think Vetra did get an overhaul as far as her appearance, as far as her looks, her casual outfit, but I'm not quite sure of anything else. I haven't delved into single player that much.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, I
no extra
haven't delved
sex scene.
into single player in a little bit,
Just that right.
so I don't know exactly what's true and what's not. But as far as people saying that there have been romance changes for Scott Ryder, no,
Nope.
nope.
No.
All right, so next topic is that there was an article that was released today that says that Mass Effect reportedly on hiatus as staff has been moving from like different BioWare studios, especially since I heard that BioWare Montreal has been changed into a support studio instead of a flagship one.
Yeah. They have them working on other games while they got to give Mass Effect a little break since it just
Yeah.
released. But the journalist that released that article even admitted that he made it sound worse than it really was. He backtracked on it.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the Kotaku article that originally sprung that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, they retracted the title from downsized to adjusted, employee levels throughout the company. I mean, they weren't let go; they were moved to other projects. As we also know, if you're following the rest of BioWare's products, the new IP it had been delayed, pushed back almost a year. So
Yeah.
they're obviously going to put more manpower on fixing that. And right now, Edmonton isn't going, or not Edmonton, but Montreal is not going to be pushing another Mass Effect 2 to Andromeda for a long time.
Yeah.
They may start work on it, but we won't ever know. They won't tell us until they've gotten somewhere with that.
Exactly.
With the last Mass Effect title, Mass Effect 3, Edmonton did the bulk of all the work for releasing the actual title, but then the DLC was all done under a second producer and a second studio. So this may be the same case here, and there's no reason to be worried this early in the game, in my opinion. It's likely we're still going to see single-player DLC. I mean, we're constantly seeing multiplayer content added, but I'd like to see some single-player stuff too. They've left a lot of stuff dangling. And I like some of that to get undangled. I'm also concerned about Dragon Age being pushed back because of the new IP being pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
I don't know. That's my 2 cents and probably $5 on top of that. But
The Dragon Age one depresses me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
come
yeah.
have a sad with me.
Yeah, so I'm also reading a couple of statements here from the BioWare Montreal studio director. He says, even as BioWare continues to focus on the Mass Effect Andromeda community and live service, we are constantly looking at how we're prepared for the next experiences we will create. With our BioWare and Motive teams sharing studio space in Montreal, we have team members joining Motive projects that are underway. We're also ramping up teams on other BioWare projects in development. And yeah, there's another statement here from the EA CEO. He's just really like congratulating on the BioWare team for doing such a magnificent job with the game, even though Mass Effect Andromeda has been getting some rather mixed responses. It's either
But
you
selling
love it
well.
or you hate it.
Yeah, people are people.
Yeah.
Okay, taking a look at the app, because I just had a strike team check in. It does appear that your mission fund cost for the items that have a level attached to them, like, you can have the quick response vehicle or the night vision glasses or the all-weather gear.
Right.
All of those appear to have gone down about 25 mission funds, give or take.
Awesome.
Well, the iOS app has not updated, so it just has.
All right. So yeah, not much going on here except that BioWare has moved some of their staff. Was it to Montreal or from Montreal? I don't remember.
From Montreal.
From Montreal, yeah. And yeah, that's going to be turned into a support studio for their next projects. So yeah. All right. Next item on the list is well, now that we're done with the recent news and everything, now it's time to yeah, it's time to move on to our first impressions of Andromeda, since we just read an article about that and we just read the patch notes. We're going to talk about our first impressions with the game, or just, anything we liked, any characters we liked, and what were our playstyles. For me, oh god, I exited out of the I exited out of the prompts. Whoops, my bad.
Oh my gosh.
All right. All right, so
Go us.
all right, so yeah, so for myself, my first impressions with the game, when I first started it up, I was like, ooh, pretty. Especially since like the opening cutscenes seemed on like such a grand scale. Like when you first fly in, or like when you first see the shuttles fly up to the arcs, you're like, whoa. And then especially when you get onto the first planet, you're like, oh my god.
The mountains are floating.
The mountains are floating. What is this? Yeah, so my first impressions with the game, I was really impressed by what I saw. The landscapes are absolutely beautiful.
Don't tell that to the people that hate the animations.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my
And
god, so jinky.
and there's also oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, especially when you're first meeting the characters and your squad mates, I'm like, hey, you're cool. Like this is the first Mass Effect game where where like or I haven't hated like any of the squad mates. Like with the trilogy, I actually did kind of hate a couple because of how boring they were or how much of an ass they were. With Andromeda,
Stop talking about Titan like that.
Hey, Kaden, we're having a barbecue.
His new name is Ash.
Yeah,
He
so
strove to be Ash. So it happened.
but yeah, with Andromeda, I don't dislike anybody. I love all of my squad mates. I love the characters aboard the Tempest. I love absolutely everybody, except for a couple on
The
on
Nexus.
the Nexus, but we'll get to that another time.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about which characters I like, but I did have a girlfriend.
And just for the record, it's not the cheeky Scott.
She's tall. She's good with guns. You like her.
Yeah, you'll like her. All right. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about which
Cassian, leave pineapple pizza out of this.
But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about which characters I liked most, or not too much about the game, because some of our viewers haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, or they haven't gone that far. So that'll be for another week. Dad, why don't you go ahead and talk about your first impressions with the game? Like when you did your first playthrough, what were some of your reactions?
I'm done with it.
Oh, you're not done with it?
No. Well, I mean, when I first started the game, before everyone else, I immediately just heard this music, and I love the music. But
Yeah,
I am with a lot of people on how the custom riders look, because they were ugly. I didn't like any of them, but I kind of dealt with it.
Yeah, I think we're some of the few people that actually liked default Sarah and Scott Ryder.
Pretty boy Floyd. But yeah, I mean, for my low-end computer on running it on low settings, it still looked great.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Deb brought up, you did bring up a really good point there. I did forget to mention the music. The music is beautiful. I absolutely loved it, especially the track called A Better Beginning. That's probably that's probably on par with A Future for the Krogan, or what else is a good one? Or An End Once and For All. That's my personal opinion.
When you first wake up and you lose gravity at that certain point. If you look to your right and look at Liam when there's no gravity, it's funny as hell because you look at him and he's just doing flips in the air over and over. With
Oh
no
my
gravity.
god, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's literally just flipping in the air, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Oh my god, I need to try that.
I lost it when I saw that, and God, the game's fun. I don't know why everybody's complaining. I haven't hit any of those crazy glitches or bugs, so I haven't experienced the bad stuff that some other people have experienced. And I've got a low-end computer, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like some of our actually I think
Sorry,
Richard, it's not your turn. But yeah, for those of you who are watching, yeah, our computers aren't very high end, and as far as I can tell, like none of us have had any game-breaking bugs, though Richard is another story.
That's the worst, actually.
Yeah, the worst.
If I were the Winter Soldier, one of those 16 words used to control me would be Perisphona.
But yeah, none of us have. Other than that, none of us have really had any game-breaking glitches or bugs or anything like that, and we're just having tons of fun with it. Like we really love Andromeda. We really do.
But I mean, I like the characters. There's certain ones that they just have certain qualities I don't really like.
Damn! Sorry, what?
No, I meant as
on.
squad mates.
Mm.
I meant squad mates. But it's now favorite character, also the one I romance. They enjoyed the tram ride.
Oh yeah.
Because my rider's name is Tram Rider.
Yeah. Yeah, so like anytime someone's gonna romance you, it's ride the tram.
Oh, look at this one, bought a ticket to ride the train.
Alright, Thessian, why don't you talk about your first impressions with the game? Like tell us about some of your reactions with your first playthrough. Obviously, try to keep the spoilers to a low.
Yeah. First reaction to the game, Dead's point about the music soundtrack for the game was great. Downloaded it before the game was released. And I can't say the music compares to Mass Effect 3, 2, or 1 in any sense, because it really doesn't. But it really makes a good impact within the game. General gameplay is much different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot nicer. You can actually not have to worry about ducking behind cover. Your character does that for you. Pull and throw are used in completely different ways than in the trilogy, which makes it much more useful power.
In your case, throw off the building.
Yes, I mean with what was it, the human kineticist in multiplayer, the ultra rare that some people complain they have not gotten yet. Anyway, you can actually use pull and throw in combination to throw enemies off the map, which is an excellent way to just get rid of them and kill them.
I've never seen you do that all the time.
Oh, I know, it's such a compulsive habit that you're not seeing me do. Okay. The environments, very rich, very detailed. Some of the hazards make it even more interesting because in the trilogy you had that, but all it just said was level 1, level 2 hazard. And then all of a sudden you were in trouble, you needed help, and you were going to die within 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
This one gives you more realistic hazards such as freeze hazard, radiation, things like that you would expect. But as far as characters go, I haven't really had any issue with any of the squad mates. The ones that we know of from just, the game release, Cora and Liam are your 2 start-offs. Both of them have very good powers. I won't elaborate. Vetra, well, she's just as awesome as anything.
I was gonna say here, especially Liam, because once you get him like maxed out, oh my god, is he good?
Yeah, he's a very good killing machine whenever you do get him maxed out after loyalty missions and all that.
Right.
Yeah, Vetra's good. I started using her as a squad mate very early on, as soon as you could in the game. PB or Pelisaria Basail, however you want to annoy her and call her by her full name. Yeah.
Asari Raccoon.
Yes, the Asari Raccoon Peanut Butter.
She said her name was Peanut Butter. I'm going by it.
Her powers are okay. I expected them to be a bit better than they were, but they're okay. I won't elaborate on the other 2 squad mates just because you have to wait a little bit further in the game to get them. So I'll just say they're good for what they are.
Yeah.
I haven't had any real glitches in the game. No real troubles. None like what Richard had. I'm sorry I had to take a stab at you, mate.
That's okay. I know where you play games.
Well, I mean, you are on top of me, so shut off. But any kind of glitches people are having now, I'll just put this out as something of a warning. Anyone complaining about the games, if you hear any negative reviews, think of this. The game's only been out literally about a month. This is only just the beginning of all the issues that you may have. They're putting out patches off and on to fix different ones other players are reporting. This is not going to be a 100% perfectly functioning game within the first month, really within the first 6 months. You're going to have troubles. So anyone complaining about all that, it's to be expected. This is a launch game. If you wanted to wait a year, it would have been fine. But I won't linger on that subject.
Yeah.
The plot line's good. Much different than what I expected. Personal character missions are good. I won't elaborate on those either, but they bring out the best and the worst in characters.
I won't be ignored.
Yeah. Some of the core storyline missions also bring out the best and worst in characters, and yes, Rich have had very heated debates on this, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
so
we'll get to that
we'll get to that right now. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Just basic impressions going from, say, the 10-hour preview play in Origin Access. It was great. Much more than, better than I expected. A lot better than I anticipated. Well worth it. Anyone really loving the trilogy for what it was, Andromeda will be a good investment so long as you don't try to compare the trilogy to this game, because there is no comparison.
Well, that and you're comparing one game to 3.
Yeah. Combat styles, yes.
Yeah, this
How about that?
Andromeda is exactly how BioWare marketed it. It's a fresh new start. Nobody else is going to be, nobody else in the trilogy is going to be in this except for, a few nods here and there. Just treat it like it is. Like how it's supposed to be. This is a fresh start.
And no, Shepard would not have made this game better.
Your face
Moving
is
on.
tired.
Yeah.
Thank you, Addison.
Yeah, thank you.
I still can't get past the fact how much of a crack horse you look.
That was the only issue that I had. I'm like, what's wrong with your face?
It's just clown.
Just another mention, some of the patches, patch 1.05 and 1.06, have addressed different appearance issues. People were complaining about the mouth animations where you would see like white behind their lips or teeth moving. That's been eliminated for the most part. The wide-eyed and severely overdone makeup has been wiped out to where it does not look like someone is a crack whore from the beginning of the game.
If your face was that tired, you'd need a mortician to do your makeup too.
True. But the hairstyles haven't been messed with, mop top, but yeah, the wide eyes and all that have been addressed. Some of the other animations that people just had to go into a tizzy about have been addressed. All in all, they're still working on correcting that issue.
Yes.
The question I have is, did they fix the drinking animation when they're drinking beer and all that? Because Liam looks like he's grimacing while he's drinking it, teeth grinding and everything.
I'm not sure if they fixed that yet. I haven't started a new game since the patch was released today, but just from playing like 2 seconds of single player and some of multiplayer, some things have been improved, some things.
I don't know. I got a good laugh out of it. Look like you're trying to get the damn bottle.
I personally like when the cup or mug uses tactical cloak and just straight up disappears.
Right. All right. Now, finally, Richard, tell us some of your first impressions with Mass Effect Andromeda, and just, what things you liked, what things you didn't like, anything like that. So go ahead.
While my computer is not top of the line, I am able to push my graphics into the ultra range for most of the details and get a fairly solid 40 to 45 frames per second. And I must say that the environmental work, in terms of maps, outside in the starfield, space travel, when you're looking at one of the characters' armor or their clothes even, and you're outside doing something, or even inside during any of the maps, let's just put it that way, the map work is fantastic. A lot of people were complaining about the graphics, but you really should separate animations from actual graphical design. They're not the same thing. So yes, some of the animations were wonky. Yes, some of the eye work on the human models was awful. It wasn't enough to break my immersion. It wasn't enough to make me go, oh, this game blows, I'm returning it. There were other problems. Sorry, Ark. But, they've worked to correct all these problems. So I'm not giving them a pass on it. This is like, yes, they did have problems. It was a rough launch. But they're doing the right thing, and that's important. They're not just going, oh, this is broken and we're never going to patch it for PC. Batman! Oh, I'm sorry, did it? Alright, so anyway. They're fixing stuff. That's what's important. The other part of this is BioWare's writing is always there. It's always strong with the characters. I absolutely love Alec Ryder in the opening scenes. His presence and his gravity are fantastic, and it really drew me in. I'm not going to talk too much about Alec Ryder because of events in the game, so for those of you who haven't played it far enough, although I can't imagine that you're at this point, you probably returned the game if you didn't get that far. I really liked the human characters, that there's only 6 of them on the ship, well, besides the support cast. And I love Suvi, I love Kato, I love Gil, they're great too. But I really didn't have any characters that I didn't care about finding out how their story panned out throughout the series or finding out more about them. They were all good fun. And by the end of the game, they go from, man, we're all kind of along with the ride for Ryder for different reasons, to they're your cheerleading squad, we're going to get this done. I kind of love how it all pulls together in the end. I'm not going to talk about the ending. I'm just going to say that the journey from the beginning to the end of Andromeda is well worth it, and the 10-hour window that you had and the press embargo was a gigantic mistake because BioWare games never start strong. Play it through past those points. Give it a chance, because there's some great moments later on in the game that you will absolutely kick yourself for if you find out from YouTube because you decided not to buy the game because of a couple janky animations.
Yep.
Well, it's also, I read quite a few of it from reviewers that reviewed the game and gave it bad reviews, and quite a few other people that played the game. They started off, they hated it. They didn't like the beginning of it, but as soon as they got more into the game, they were like, I love this game. I can't stop playing.
And that's really...
I have to give it a chance.
Yep. That's how it is. The people who don't like any of the BioWare games for any reason usually have only played the very beginning of it and never let it catch fire. Because it hits a point where it starts tumbling of its own accord and you're trying to keep up. Like, there's almost this rush, like you want to see what happens next, as opposed to dithering around and doing all the side quests. And that kind of puts it at odds with the game design. So yeah, there's some flaws in it being the open world game design. The same arguments you could have against, say, Dragon Age Inquisition, you could have against Mass Effect Andromeda. But if you gave Inquisition a chance, if you gave Andromeda a chance, there was a great story inside that open world as long as you paced it properly yourself. And that's kind of the part that the BioWare is having a hard time nailing down. They're not getting that flow properly because it's an open world and they can't control the pacing of the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to the player. So if you're one of those people that's gonna complete every single quest element in EOS and then bitch when you have to go back to EOS, a few hours later because something else is happening on EOS, then you kind of doing it wrong. Jump around, be adventuresome, explore.
Yes.
Just not on the same planet, for Christ's sakes, and get out of the hinterlands.
Yeah. And actually, I was to add to that as well. Yeah, to people who like just completely got bored in Andromeda within like the first 10 hours. Do you forget how slow Mass Effect 1 was? Or Mass Effect 2?
I'll agree with that. Mass Effect 2 was very slow.
It really was. It really... Like the only real exciting parts is the beginning, when you die, or the end, when you go to the collector base. Between all of that, it's really recruiting your squad mates, doing their loyalty missions, doing any side quests or DLC. That's really it. I mean, granted, those missions are good, but like
spoilers for those sods who just skipped out on 2 because they wanted to get to 3. Moving on.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, I just wanted to add to that little bit there.
Yeah. Andromeda moves a bit slowly. That is something that Rich did mention. It moves slowly in the beginning. You don't get to those big speed up, holy shite moments later in the game. But when you get to them, you don't want to stop playing.
Yeah.
The story picks up. It's just something you don't want to let go of.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so we're gonna move on from Andromeda a little bit here. We're at the 1 hour mark. We'll get more to Andromeda another week when we talk about like key decisions and the story and characters and everything like that. But we're gonna move away from that right now. We're gonna talk.
There's a reason you hate the cat.
I do hate the cat.
I'm sure there's a couple of reasons.
Anyway,
shit up.
Anyway, we're gonna go into a couple of topics here. We're gonna go into a couple of topics here for debate. I say we get to. Well, actually, we're gonna save that one for later. So what we're gonna do for these little debates here is that we're each gonna have a time of about, say, 5 to 10 minutes explaining the choices that happened during these events, and really that's pretty much going to be it. We're at the 1 hour mark, so we don't want to go like too much into these. But let's start off with the first one, which is saving versus killing the council in Mass Effect 1. In Mass Effect 1, you have an option. Well, when you get onto the Citadel and Sovereign's taken over, Saren's been invading with the Geth. You have an option to, I believe, open the Citadel arms, which allows the Alliance fleet to come in and destroy Sovereign, or you can have the Alliance fleet go in early and save the council because the council ship, the Destiny Ascension, is directly in like Sovereign's line of fire, I believe. So yeah, so you have the choice to either save the council, like send the Alliance fleet in early, or you can sacrifice the council so the Alliance fleet can hold back and focus their attack on Sovereign. Now my first playthrough, I didn't think the council was like important at all. I was just like, I'll get a new council. Who cares? So I sacrificed them, and boy, did the council not like me for the next 2 games. Because I was known as like a human supremacist, and who cares about other alien races? And that kind of made me feel like a bit of a dick. So
base racist.
You alien.
So my next playthroughs, I have saved the council because number one, they are kind of integral to keeping peace within the Milky Way galaxy. And number two, in terms of gameplay, you actually do get some more assets for keeping the Destiny Ascension, which I did not know the first time. So yeah, now I basically just save the council every time in Mass Effect 1, despite how annoying they are. Hang up! Is this some kind of game? Are you just calling in a report to say you could call us off again? You know it.
No, I mean, you don't take the option to hang up on the council at all. I mean, no one saw that.
Yeah, no way.
It was an accident, oops.
Yep. Sorry, oops, I finger slipped. But, yeah, despite how annoying the council is sometimes, I actually do keep them around because for the main part, they are kind of integral to keeping peace within Citadel space. So, yeah, it's pretty much a simple choice. That's my reasoning. Dead, what about you? Do you prefer to save or kill the council? And can you elaborate more on that choice?
First playthrough, I killed him. Straight up. And then I noticed that, like the Turian in the store on Citadel and all that were not very happy with me. So next playthroughs, I kind of saved them because I want that discount and all that. But they're just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
In the way, I guess this is the best way to put it. They were in the way.
Oh yeah, I totally get you there. All right, Thessian, why don't you tell us whether you prefer to save or kill the council, and what is your explanation on that? Like, what is your explanation for your choice on that?
Well, just to give a bit of background, during the Battle of the Citadel and Race Against Time mission, you do have that option, actually 3 options really. One, to send in the fleet, the entire Arcturus fleet, to rescue the Destiny Ascension because they're bombarded by Geth ships.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can wait, hold them back, and attack Sovereign directly, thereby sacrificing the Ascension and the Council.
Mm-hmm.
The third option is to just wing it, do whatever you feel is right. And that's basically what that option says. I can't remember the exact text. But if you choose the third option, it's an automatic destroy. You do lose the council if you choose for that option. Mm-hmm. But I have never sacrificed the council. Just to put that out there. Never sacrificed them for various reasons. But what happens if you do, for those interested, you do lose the original council.
Mm-hmm.
The second council that is elected is not of pure human, all humans, like Udina suggests. It is consistent of Solarian, and whatever human representative you choose. But they refuse to see you in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
The council itself refuses to see you. You deal with Anderson or Udina, whoever you choose. And in 3, they are very skeptical of everything you say. They do admit that you're right, but it takes time. And they are quick to point out that, yes, you blew the first council up so that you could give humanity a hand. So they're quick to point that out. The original council, while one of them can be a trademark smartass, and no, I'm not going to say who, because I think we all know. Mm-hmm. He may be a smartass, he may be a dick, but I suppose his heart is in the right place, whether he's good with wording that or not. The council is skeptical about everything you say in Mass Effect 1. And they have a right to be. You can't just say, oh, this big race of machines is coming in to destroy everyone, and then believe you. They could believe any crackpot like the Hanar Prophet on the Presidium, for that matter. So, if that thing came in and said, this one believes the Enkindlers are coming back to wipe us all out, should they believe that for the same reason? No. But they're more understanding of everything you're doing in the next games. In 2, they do see you. They don't understand why you're working with Cerberus, but in 3, they're more, at least one of them is more grudgingly willing to admit that they should have believed you in the first place. And they do a wonderful job of, but it's just, it depends on how you want to play your game. And I've never killed the council, just because I don't see that justified. Mm-hmm. You are sacrificing 10,000, if not more, aboard the Ascension plus the council for, say, anywhere between 500 and 800 humans. So in a way, it is about the number. You're sacrificing all of those people and your political leaders, whether they were right or wrong. They're the ones that will give you an edge in trying to keep peace in a galaxy that's falling apart because of the impending Reaper invasion and aftermath of Sovereign.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alright, Alright, Richard, why don't you go ahead and explain whether you prefer to save or kill the council, and what is your explanation on the choice that you make?
I'm even going to go ahead and quote Shepard here. The Alliance lost 8 cruisers: Shenyang, Emden, Jakarta, Cairo, Cape Town, Seoul, Warsaw, Madrid. And yes, I remember them all. Everyone in the 5th Fleet is a hero. The Alliance owes them all medals. The Council owes them a lot more than that. So do you.
True.
I totally agree with Paragon Shepard here. It is a dereliction of your duty to allow the Destiny Ascension to go down in flames for some perceived human self-importance. You are part of an allied military unit. An alliance means sometimes throwing down your own to save someone else. You absolutely have to do this every time, in my book. I mean, everyone's going to play this the way they want to, but I found it to be inexcusable to allow the Council to die, to allow the Destiny Ascension to go down in flames. And at the end of the day, if you do save them, that same Destiny Ascension, that same crew, goes to Earth and helps throw down against the Reapers. Yep. That is having your buddies back.
Yep, exactly.
So I've done that every single time, and I am not sorry.
Yep, and that's exactly the other reason why I saved the Council. They go to help you at the end of Mass Effect 3 to help you retake Earth, and that's definitely worth it.
Now, I'm also going to do a Russian reversal on my sorry, not sorry. I am with you sorry and not sorry.
I was about to point that out. I was about to say, yeah, because of that ship's fleet loyalty, you are sorry, not sorry.
Exactly.
It's the one Mass Effect thing that me and Thessian absolutely agree on.
Yeah.
I will add to what Rich said there about dereliction of duty. They fought to get a Spectre in with the Council. You know, they fought to get a Spectre, they fought to have this and that. And throughout the whole game, you're having Admiral Hackett, which I have all respect for him. You're having him and Admiral Mikhailovic, or Admiral Douchebag, as most people call him, come in and say, well, you have to do this because you were human first. You were human first. That's all I ever heard through Mass Effect 1. But if they wanted a Council Spectre so badly, they need to treat Shepard like one. Shepard doesn't respond only to humans anymore. You respond to the galaxy, and it's in the galaxy's best interest to have leaders that they know they can trust. To have leaders that have been through something like that, as opposed to people who haven't and are just thrown in because, oh, our other leader's dead. Your duty is to the Council and to the Alliance. Not one, not the other.
Is Dead one of our leaders? I can never tell.
Are we sure? Oh.
Alright, alright, so that's one, yeah, that's one topic covered. Next one is gonna be, keep, or destroy the collector base at the end of Mass Effect 2, though I think we might all be in agreement here. Now, starting off with myself, I always destroy the collector base. Always. Because while I did sort of believe the elusive man, well, I believe he was on the right track because, you know, the Reapers are on their way, and he's really the only one that actually knows that truth. So, you know, hey, you know, let's find out the truth behind the Reapers and why the collectors are working for them. But by the end of the game, I could really tell that he wanted... He definitely wanted something more. And you know, for him to just say like, oh, this collector base will give us the technology to fight back the Reapers and you know, give us supremacy over the galaxy. And while he kinda has a point about turning that technology against them, he wants more than that. And I, for one, do not want to give him that power. And plus, I think it's funny when you take Miranda with you and refuse the collector base at the same time. Because he's like, Miranda, I gave you an order. Consider this my resignation. I'm like, oh, snap. But yeah, in all seriousness, I do not want to give the elusive man that kind of power and supremacy over the galaxy that he wants for himself, even though he may have a point. So I always destroy the collector base. That's my reasoning behind it. Richard, why don't you go ahead and explain whether you prefer to keep or destroy the collector base, and what was your reasoning behind the choice you made?
Well, Sonny Jim, let me tell you a story about a long, long time ago, back when Mass Effect 2 was the latest and greatest Mass Effect game. This was a huge debating point, and the BSN, the forum for BioWare, was afire with people pointing fingers and saying, the elusive man's way is the way forward. And then on the other side, you're like, idiots! Reaper tech cannot be left unattended with people who have delusions of grandeur. And the fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting would go back and forth. And the best part about it all is, as we all know now, the difference between the two options is basically 25 war asset points. It's kind of disappointing. I would bring that up first.
Yeah.
That's all. Reaper brain or Reaper heart? I felt that the elusive man could not be trusted, let alone be trusted with something so colossally dangerous as a base full of Reaper tech. No thank you, sir. I will be blowing this up and you can pick through the scraps.
Yep. That's pretty much exactly what I thought. I did not trust him with that kind of technology, so bye-bye.
And just as another thing that goes along with that, the Reaper way is to trap you into their selected path of technology. So developing more technology based on Reaper tech does not really help you in the long run, because they probably have some way to negate it. So I really didn't see a way forward using the collector's technology.
Right. Alright, Dead, what is your preferred choice? Do you prefer to keep the collector base alive for Cerberus to go through, or do you prefer to destroy it and say, "Hey, fuck you, elusive man"? And what was your reasoning behind that choice?
I always destroyed it, and I always have Miranda with me because, to quote Sandra Bullock from Demolition Man for Miranda, you can take this job and shovel it.
Mm-hmm.
But and it just he's losing his sanity. He's getting indoctrinated, even though he won't admit to it. Mm-hmm. He's falling further and further, and you're trusting that technology with someone who's going to fall further and further in the next game.
Yeah.
Who knows what he's going to do with that stuff? Even if it's only to help humans, it's still going to kill all the other aliens. So you're pretty much writing a death sentence.
Right.
No. We can't lose our favorite blue people. And definitely not our favorite Turians.
Yeah, no. Alright.
Caden does okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Caden, no, that's fine. Jacob!
He can have his prize.
I just had him crawl through the vents and go, "Hey, bye-bye."
Rocket to the face.
Rocket to the face. Alright, Thessian, do you prefer to keep the base alive for Cerberus, or do you prefer to destroy it? And what was your reasoning behind that?
I've done it both ways. I've kept the base and destroyed it. Thank you for that. I've kept it and had the neutron purge go through and wipe out the collectors, leaving the brain intact, or I have destroyed it. I've destroyed it more than I have kept. But either way, you're going to have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Leave Cerberus technology that they should not be able to use, because the elusive man was indoctrinated before Mass Effect 2.
Right.
And you just don't know it. Entrusting that kind of technology to someone who either in his right mind would use it against other aliens, just to better humanity, or in his slowly crippling indoctrination, to use it to try to understand or break down Reaper control for every wrong reason except for the right one. It's no real contest. Yes, if you keep the base, you get more war assets that way, because the Reaper corpse is repurposed for the Crucible. But which would you prefer? The increased war assets, which I had enough already, or the ability for Cerberus to play with a toy that they can't fully understand? For the wrong reason. So, for the most part, I do destroy the base. And It's my preferred decision. Plus, Miranda is a bonus.
Yeah, definitely. Consider
and all
this
your squad mates have that, yeah. Your squad mates have that positive reaction of, it was good to destroy the base, you made the right choice.
Yeah. Especially Miranda. She's like, "Consider this my resignation." Like, ooh.
Cerberus cheerleaders growing up.
Yeah.
That ass.
Oh man. Okay, Richard, are you back yet?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I think we have time for one more debate because we are approaching the 1.5 hour mark. So let's try not to get like too into it, but the last topic for the night is going to be the genophage. Was it right or was it wrong? This is a tough one. I personally think the genophage is wrong. I definitely believe that. And basically it's really just all on the history of the Rachni Wars and the Krogan rebellions. Now from my understanding, the Rachni Wars were first, right? like the Rachni Wars happened first that led up to the Krogan rebellions. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Rachni Wars, from my understanding, Rachni are rapidly increasing through the galaxy. Solarians ask Krogans for help, I really shouldn't say ask, but they kind of brought up the Krogan to really fight against the Rachni and get rid of them. Because from my understanding, they didn't really ask them.
No, Solarians discovered the Rachni and tried to correct their mistake when the Rachni began spreading by saying, well, we need people that can go through and wipe out the Rachni on their home worlds. So,
yeah.
Oh, look, there's the Krogan. What we can do is we'll offer them technology and basically uplift them to use their own, fix their broken planet that they broke themselves.
Yeah.
And so here, in order for you to have this technology, you need to help us. So it was a give and take.
Right. Yeah, so the Krogans basically they came to terms with the Solarians. They wouldn't fuck the Rachni, got rid of them. And that was pretty much the end of it. How long the Rachni Wars lasted, I'm not entirely sure because I don't know the entire timeline. But yeah, basically after that, the Solarians, and I believe the Turians as well, but mainly the Solarians have noticed that that because of this, from my understanding anyway, because of how uplifted the Krogan were by this technology and by the Rachni Wars, they sort of started rebelling against the other species and especially themselves, which of course leads to the Krogan rebellions. And this but before the galaxy could be destroyed, well not destroyed, but before the galaxy could be ruined by the hundreds of thousands of Krogan rampaging throughout the galaxy, the Solarians and the Turians had to come up with something. And then I believe by your knowledge, Thessian, the Shroud was created first, and then it was the Genophage, primarily invented by the Turians, I believe.
The Shroud was created whenever they were uplifting Tuchanka, so it was created whenever they were first, basically. But yeah,
that was also worked both times.
Yeah, it was the Genophage and the Shroud facility were both designed by Solarian.
The Turians just kind of.
Turians put the Turians put the boot in with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they also deployed the Genophage, as you see in the Citadel. The Solarians didn't want to do it, and they were restrained by their Turian compatriots, who then fed it in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The Solarians didn't want to do it at first, but the Turians were like, no, this needs to happen. Otherwise, just we're all doomed. That's it. But yeah, so once the Genophage is released, this basically causes all Krogan children to be stillborn and all adult Krogans to be infertile, I believe. I don't know the full details because I haven't known Mass Effect for that long.
1 in 1,000 births is viable.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
correct.
So it's just like a very, very slim chance of fertile Krogan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so, and the Krogans have, so basically the Krogans have lived with this Genophage for how long? A very long time.
I'm actually looking into that because the Rachni War was...
It's between 1,400 and 1,600 years.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rachni War was 300, so I'm looking at the rebellions and all that now.
Okay, good. But yeah, so even though the Krogans were kind of ruining the galaxy during the rebellions. You know, I could sort of understand like why you wanted to stop them, but to eliminate the chances of like any successful births by 1 in 1,000, like that's just not right because when I'm playing Mass Effect 3 and then you're in the ruins of like the ancient Krogan city, it what I saw is that the Krogans used to be, you know, very successful race, very architectural race. You know, they held great pride in themselves and their people, and to see that just come crashing down was actually very, very heartbreaking. So, from my understanding and you know, from my knowledge of the timeline, I don't believe the Genophage was right at all. So that's coming from me. Thessian, what about you? Of course, let's not go too much into this because we are at an hour and a half, but from your understanding of the history with the Krogans and the Solarians, you know, the rebellions and Arachne Wars, do you believe the Genophage was right or was it wrong?
I think the Solarians had it right when they wanted to use it as a deterrent, not as an ultimate stop. Mm-hmm. Although I will say that if something was not done, the Krogan would have been out of control. So in this case, I suppose I'm going to have to say, even though it wasn't right how the Turians did it, the Genophage was a good decision. Because otherwise you would have had rampaging Krogan moving throughout the galaxy, taking over colonies, and basically doing what they wanted, acting like children who didn't get their way. Mm-hmm. And that would have left the galaxy in a state of ruin.
What was that, Richard?
You hear that, Biscuit? She called us children!
That's not right at all!
It would have left the galaxy in a state of ruin because the Krogan were angry at everything and nothing. They just wanted to employ violence, to put it in Arya's terms.
And this is also going, also take into consideration what Eve said too, that the Krogans wanted more of a challenge and they found it in themselves. So not only would they have been, you know, not only would they have been taking over colonies and pretty much, you know, going into war with other species, but also themselves. So,
considering they destroyed their own planet,
yeah.
What would they have done with the rest of the galaxy? I'm not saying it was the ultimate right decision to punish all Krogan for those raging thoughts of some, but people like Rex were a definite deterrent for that. But all in all, the Genophage was the right decision yes.
Okay. Dead? What about you? Do you believe the Genophage was right, or was it the wrong thing to do?
I actually agree with Thessian. There's two sides to a sword. Mm-hmm. You know, the Genophage, they needed to deter it, but they shouldn't have made it to where only 1 in 1,000 would live. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. That was a bit of a low blow, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, they would have gotten out of control. You see how destructive Krogans can be and how hard they are to stop.
Yeah.
A galaxy full of them, raging and rampaging, bad.
Yeah.
Pretty much the way Thessian described them as like wannabe metalheads. They're angry. They think they're hardcore metalheads because they're angry and they're going to destroy stuff and all that. And do whatever. Growl and scream.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big debate topic, though. I mean, a lot of people are going to disagree.
Yeah, I don't want to get like too much into it because we do have like a half an hour left. So, Richard, I know you're a big fan of the Krogan as well. So why don't you tell us, do you believe the Genophage was right or was it wrong?
Okay, this is a very complex subject. I'm going to approach it like this. There are certain conditions under which the genophage was the right thing to do, and then there's an understanding that you brought them to their knees, you beat them over the head, it's probably time to be a little more forgiving. So you have this race that beat themselves down. I mean, they annihilated themselves with nuclear war. They're uplifted because of their extreme hardiness. They're allowed to breed out of control to fight the Rachni. They spread across the galaxy in a sea of blood, stomp the Rachni in every mud hole they can find, and when they're done, they have this giant population explosion that has to go back to Tuchanka. Tuchanka is a wreck. It's rubble, it's hardship, and it's going to be a bloodbath if all those Krogan go back to the same place. The Solarians miscalculated in the first place. They miscalculated again with the genophage being deployed. Now, keep in mind, like Thessian said, it was pretty obvious they didn't want to use it. They wanted to get there and say, we can use it. Unfortunately, I believe the Turians did the right thing at the time because the Krogan absolutely needed to be mercilessly stomped into a hole to remind them that unabridged savagery is not appreciated by the rest of the universe at large.
Yes.
Okay? Settle down, Biscuit. You too, Hammer. Oh. They needed to be put in their place. The 1,000 years that follow become this sad, macabre dance of the Krogan losing hope. And losing hope is a very powerful thing. When you lose the hope that things can and will improve, you lose the ability to really live the life that you have. And you're talking about such a huge life for a Krogan. 1,000 years with, I'll never have a clan of my own. Mope, 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 mope. So they go off and they do things that are dangerous and they get themselves killed everywhere. And the population, despite being normalized for what every other race would be okay with, they start to die off. This is an execution. This is genocide. This is not the social engineering that they were planning for because the Solarians had designed this genophage around a Solarian mindset for child rearing. The Turians and the Asari see the same thing. They see the Krogan have one baby out of 1,000. They should be happy with this. It's all good. Let's go. And the Krogan are heartbroken. They're unable to move forward into a new future. They needed someone like Rex to appear. And this is an important thing. If you've played through the game and you've killed Rex, and Eve could not survive what comes, I would in no way, shape, or form allow the genophage to be cured. And that's so hard for me to say. But I save Uncle Rex all the time. So
yeah.
Save Rex. Save Malin's data. Save Eve. And the Krogan have a very bright future ahead of them.
Your other option over Rex is horrible.
Yes.
Horrible.
Reeve is just misunderstood.
Yeah, Reeve's an ass. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Reeve is definitely an ass. And
Reeve
if
can
you
go Drain-Cated.
Okay, so to you viewers, if any of you have if you haven't killed Rex, then good, but if you actually stopped the genophage from being cured, oh my god, you are gonna pay for it. I can't go through with that. So if you're the type of person who saved Rex, good. You've, helped Grunt with his rite of passage, good. You saved Grunt in Mass Effect 3, then good. But when you prevent the genophage from being cured when they already have a bright future ahead of them, you are betraying Rex. You're, practically your brother from another species. You're betraying Grunt, who looked up to you as a mentor and a battle master. You're also kind of betraying Morden in a way. because, when he goes up to that shroud, he made his choice very clear that he wanted to, he wanted to do this. He wants to give the Krogan another chance. If you stop him from doing that, you're just a complete asshole. I'm sorry.
He just said someone else would have gotten it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. But in all seriousness, it just depends on how your viewpoint of the Krogan. If you still think there's some rabid bunch of animals that are out of control, and you don't trust them with the genophage, you don't trust that others will take over and basically knock Rex out of its place, it's an understanding, it's understandable why you would choose to not cure the genophage. But following the game's context, Rex and Bakara are a good couple. They're a good leadership for the Krogan, so there shouldn't virtually be any reason not to deny the genophage cure. Just my opinion.
Yeah, so I think we can actually kind of all agree that it's basically what Thessian has said before, that the genophage was originally intended as a deterrent for the Krogan, just to, stop them getting out of the control. That was understandable, but as time went on, and basically the way that the genophage had evolved over time, basically what Richard said, the Krogan started to lose hope, and that it is that the purpose of the genophage went from being a deterrent to stop them from getting out of control, and to basically it went from that to going to basically genocide, to slaughter, to to basically wipe them all out, which I don't believe is right.
Well, that calls into question the genophage modification project.
Right.
When Krogan were actually adapting to genophage, and then the Solarians say, oh wait, something's wrong, we need to fix this, we need to go in and change that, so that they don't adapt. Had the Solarians realized they were in the wrong mindset about the Krogan virility, or had they not? That's a debate for another day.
Right. But, yeah, I think we're pretty much all in agreement that, it was the correct choice to try and get the Krogan in control in the first place. As time went on, though, it definitely turned out to be worse than originally intended. Okay, we are approaching the 1 hour 45 mark, so unless anyone has any other topics or any other articles or something that they want to bring up, I think we can go ahead and end the podcast for tonight.
Because I'm pretty sure Thessian wants me to offer him on top.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Not touching that. Not touching that. Okay. But what about me, you, and Dead?
Well,
obviously,
that is an excellent question.
Yeah, what about them? I mean, they're having a go at us, so what about them?
I mean, we're making noise about it, at least.
Yeah.
Who's beside me?
I suppose you would be stuck with me.
Thessian's beside you, Dead.
Well, then, with that, it's a threesome.
But then where does Richard come into play?
He's all alone in the corner.
Oh, no!
Ouch. I got podcast placement rejected.
Oh, that's
Podcast
very
zone.
sad. Oh, that's so sad. Alright, so I assume no one has any other articles or topics that they'd like to bring up?
None that would be appropriate.
Okay then.
Let's talk about the pineapple pizza.
Well, we're gonna save that for when we get her on there, okay? Or we can all talk.
Be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, or we can just talk about it off podcast. But I think we've already done that. So. All right, so yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight's podcast, guys. Don't know yet what next week is gonna be, but hopefully we get a guest on soon. I'm hoping.
Moving on.
The real question is, who are you going to put on top of the guests?
I know.
Who volunteered the sacrifice? Oh, I mean, what?
Yeah. I think when we have like a guest on here, I'm going to move us more to the sides and then put the guest in the center of the screen so that they are the focus.
Sandwich.
So it's a riot. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
That was it.
All right, so yeah, we are at an hour and 45 minutes, so I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. So yeah, stay tuned next Wednesday at 8 o'clock Pacific time for the next podcast. And as usual, this has been what am I saying? This has been me, the host, the Renegade Cosplayer, and of course, thanks to my squad, Die by the Sword, and Dead Meathead,
Dude,
and Dusty and Shadow.
Will you get off, Rich? I don't like you being on top.
I should go.
I should go.
Yeah. You guys ruined the... Great, you guys ruined that. Thanks. But anyway, yes, this has been me.
Ruined everything.
We should go.
Yeah. But yeah, so this has been me.
Unless
and my
Nessie has
squad.
another renegade trigger.
You're working too hard.
For God's sake, take a breath.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been me and my squad. We will catch you guys next week. We should go.
We should go. Somewhere.